Hi guys, welcome back to Girl Therapy. I'm your host Nicole, and we have Livy here today.
You guys, if you see us looking really weird on the YouTube, we're sharing one mic, so everybody mind their business. This feels more natural than anything, but yeah.
Okay, well, all right, we have a lot to dive into today. I'm not nervous about this episode, but I'm usually not one to open my mouth and spill so much tea,
Which is interesting because I'm here and I feel like that's my forte of like opening my mouth and spilling so much fucking tea. Like I will drag anybody, anything, anytime I have to. And now I feel like you're in the position where you kind of have to open up and expose somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I feel I've never felt more in my power. I've never felt more like myself. Like I've never.
I know she's bringing it out.
Yeah, I'm like, why the fuck would we not expose this person? And she's like, well, he's doing this and that. I'm like, he can go fuck himself.
I know.
And when you hear the story, you'll be like, yeah.
It's just like I want to protect the girls, and I feel bad for the girls, and that's why I feel a little bit, weird sharing this because it's not completely my business, and I don't know. There's other people's feelings involved, and I know I would be sick to my fucking stomach if I was a girl involved in this and like heard this.
Well, at the end of the day, I think it just needs to be shared because it's like, I think it's a good reminder for everyone to be a little bit more cautious while dating and not to invest themselves so much into one specific person. Like I've done that. We've all done that. And I think this is a good reminder of like, hey, even the guys that we think are the good guys aren't always the good guys. And like, that's okay, but we need to act accordingly. And like, this is just that. This is just what we're dealing with.
And I think handling these situations with like grace, and also like knowing that it doesn't mean now I'm going to put my walls up or have like major trust issues. I'm just like now just going to be a little bit more aware and smarter and go about things a little bit different. And I'm really happy that I trusted my intuition, and also don't let people get too close too soon. Like make sure you are protecting yourself, because people will put on a front or make themselves out to be the best version of themselves when you first meet them.
Let's just get into it. Let's talk about it.
Okay, if you listened to last week's episode, I was like, if you're listening to this, wow, so much can change in a week. I was like,
right?
If you're listening to this episode, like I'm probably like on my way to Orlando meeting this guy that I was in that episode. I was like, I'm finally ready to start dating, like with intent. Like I'm really excited to date somebody who's an actual candidate, like somebody who treats me right, all this stuff. This guy flies me out to Orlando, and I spend 2 nights there. And first of all, I will say, like, a lot of you are like, oh my God, like you flying to Orlando is insane. I went there because I couldn't see him when he was in Miami. He was leaving to go somewhere, and there was a short window of time in which I could see him. My schedule is a little bit flexible.
Also, bad bitches just get flown out. That's not like, that's just, sorry.
Well,
that's
I mean, people are like, that's so like crazy of you to do that. I felt comfortable because my friends knew where I was. He's someone who's a little bit more, public too. It's not like it was like a random.
To me, it's not that crazy because I just feel like that's the world we live in, where they're like, oh, I'll just fly you out.
And I do crazy shit like that. So I didn't feel any
and
type
it's not
of
like
way.
You never met him. Like they were FaceTiming, doing all those things. And it was like, dead ass, she could have drove that amount of length. Like it's getting flown in really wasn't all that. But he didn't even put her in first class.
No, I know.
Red flag.
Immediate red flag.
I would have walked my ass out the plane.
I know.
Excuse me.
He was like, yeah. But anyway, so he flies me out there. He picks me up at the airport. And it was like, I will say, it was just really comfortable. Like we'd been FaceTiming, so it didn't feel like it was my first time meeting him. I liked him. Like I was starting to be like, okay, like I do like this guy. He's nice. Like he's opening up. He seems genuine. He's sharing things about his life. He seems like he wants a relationship. Like he's talking about like, oh, like I do want a girlfriend. I'm ready to settle down. Part of me was like, is that a little bit of a red flag? Because I think if somebody really wants a girlfriend that bad, it's a little bit weird. It's like, why? You're really busy. Like you have shit going on in your life.
I get it though. Like if you want to date someone, it's like, you're busy. We're both busy.
I guess it was the way he was saying it. He was like, see, well, if I had a girlfriend, like then this wouldn't be a problem. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to be your fucking babysitter, whatever.
Can I tell you what it looked like from an outside perspective? Yeah. It was, first of all, I had a lot of anxiety about her being flown out. I know I just talked a lot of shit right there.
It's fucking normal.
Yeah, she's a bad bitch.
Oh yeah, and when he picked me up, like I didn't I mean, did I text you like when I
No,
got
Nicole like actually didn't. It was actually kind of really fucked up. I was like, hello, like.
Yeah, I was posting on my Snapchat, so I was like, you know, I was
And I was
alive.
like, no, but I was like, that doesn't do it for me. I was like, I told her specifically, hi, please call me when you get
I
there.
know. I was trying to be off my phone and be like in the moment.
Yeah,
whatever.
okay. Anyways,
Go
I was a
ahead.
little bit like, okay, like you can call me, like dude, call me, whatever. And it was so cute seeing, well, because I also know the backstory. I'm like, I know that they FaceTime every night. I know that he's a good contender. Like we like him. He checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
I knew. I don't want to believe we had the same management. We have the same management, so.
Has nothing to do
No,
with
but like
it.
I just felt safer. You know, I just felt safer
Yeah,
with
like we know who he is.
I know who
You
he
know,
is. If
yeah.
anything was to go wrong, that's why everyone's like, she got flown out. I'm like, all I have to do is call my manager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have the same management. So it's like, that's all I have to do.
Yeah.
But from an outside perspective looking in, the TikToks were so cute. And just, I loved him being like, oh my God, like, you should have picked Giraffe Man or anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I thought it was so cute. It was so endearing. So it's just like, I was like, oh, I'm excited. In my head, I was like, is Nicole?
No, I know. I was
Getting a
I was like,
boyfriend?
am I gonna date somebody? Like seriously?
No, I
Like,
know. I
was
thought
like,
the same thing.
And it, you know, now that you bring this up, I'm like, damn, this kind of sucks. This hurts.
I
No,
know.
because I did like him, and I could see something going somewhere. I'm not gonna say like I could see him being my boyfriend because I really didn't know him, but just he was ticking my boxes.
And
I was intrigued by him.
It's hard to tick her boxes. Like
Yeah.
she is very picky. And as she fucking should be. She's a cat. She brings so much to the table. Like you have the right to be as picky. Everyone does. But like I feel like this is the first guy that we were both kind of like, oh my gosh, like this is a real.
I was excited about him.
She was attracted to him.
I was attracted to him, which is hard.
Which is hard for
Which is
her.
hard because I've had a guy take my boxes too who I wasn't attracted to. Just recently.
I mean, no, I love that man.
Just recently.
You know I love that man.
And like this guy like also had a sense of humor. Like
He was funny. Like
He was
I was
funny.
on FaceTime with her and he would like chime in and we would like laugh. Like it was
we shared laughs.
we shared laughs.
You know, and fuck you. No.
No, yeah, and he can but it was really cute. I was like the first time I was seeing her being open and vulnerable for the first time in a long
I
time.
was being vulnerable,
And I was proud
that's
of
what
you.
sucks. Like he made me dinner. We shared like a nice meal. We opened up naturally, not with a card game. Naturally
know I love a card
opened
game.
up. I was attracted to him. He seemed like someone I felt really safe with, and someone who I felt like wouldn't. I didn't get the vibes, oh, this man's lying to me, this man would deceive me. Like I felt like he was being genuine, and
Right.
I have a pretty good read on people. But something still felt like I wasn't ready to sleep with him. Like when I got there, I was like, I don't want to, because I know like if he is being serious, he is going to see me again. I am going to see him again. And if this is going to go somewhere, like this isn't the last time I'm going to see him. He lives still very close. Like it's not like now or never type of thing. So I ended up staying there 2 nights, and I did have my like worries, but he wasn't someone that I was gonna write off. Like I was fully planning on going home and like talking to him still.
I will say, she'd be like, this kind of bothers me. And I was like, we can work through it. Like, I'm like, she's a good contender.
Yeah.
Let's get into the red flags and like the panic attack
So,
of like,
yeah. I would say the red flags were that he just lives such a different life than me. Like he's a little bit more low key. He doesn't really go out much. I haven't really heard anything about like his friends or like seen much of his life outside of his profession, like what he does. I was like, besides his occupation, I don't know what he does, because I'm a very social person, and I mean I'm not that social, but I go out. Like
you want someone that can match
he
them.
knew who you are. Like, you know, I didn't know. I was like, who's your best friend? Like,
Right.
like it's like he already know who you are, who knew who you are. And I was a little bit worried about like the distance. Obviously that's something that I'm like, okay, maybe.
And I
we
know
could work
everyone's like
around.
an hour is like not that, but for her it is
but-
also like the places we can say it's Orlando, right? Miami and Orlando are two different
So
worlds.
different.
Like she was in the country.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in the country. I didn't like that he said like I've never felt so comfortable with somebody before. He was just, it felt a little bit love bomby, and I'm like,
He was definitely love bombing.
I don't like playing house with somebody, and unfortunately that's what long distance feels like when you meet. It's like I met him for the first time. This was our first date, and I'm sharing a bed with him, and it's like, how many people do you do this with then? Really? Because you just moved to here. I haven't heard anything about any of like your friends or like whatever. So it's just like, I feel like if you are seeing girls, you're flying them in and
I
they're
will
staying over.
I will give it to you because you're as like pessimistic as I am about men and how much I hate them, you're more realistic than me, where I'm like, he's just in love with, like, I mean, no, he like
Yeah.
gets it.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course you're comfortable with me. Like,
Yeah.
I am that bitch. He's like, I want a girlfriend. I'd be like, no, and it's me. Like,
Well, I think that's actually why I'm a little bit more like, because I think I am somebody who makes people feel really comfortable. Because even with my friends, like when I first meet you, I can meet you a stranger on the sidewalk, I'll start conversation with you and make you feel really comfortable. Like I'm not somebody who's gonna make you feel weird or like not welcome. Like I think I'm a very warm person.
so then why was that a red flag when he's, oh, because it didn't feel genuine?
Because it just didn't feel like, because for me it feels like, well, everybody feels that way around me. Like, and I was just kind of like, I don't feel also that, like I felt comfortable with him, but not in the way where like I'm ready to date you. And he kept saying things about like wanting to make me his girlfriend.
Talk about the ticket.
And it was like,
Talk about the ticket.
the ticket.
On the phone with the person. He's like, I have to change this.
Oh, yeah. So before I even met him, he had to like change my flight because he wanted me to come the day before instead. And then he's on the phone with like the people to change my flight, and he like called me his girlfriend.
Like joking.
But and Livy, you would have loved it. But I texted Livy and I'm like, he was like, I want to call you my girlfriend. I'm like, oh.
Like I know that made her uncomfortable, and it made me even a little like,
because you haven't even met me yet. That's a lot. Like that's a lot. So I think when a guy acts like that, it's like,
joking or
how
not,
many people are you saying that to or doing that to and making girls feel that way? I don't like that. And yeah, that didn't make me like feel excited about you. It kind of made me feel like, well, you're a little bit weird. Like that's a little bit weird. But I still went and saw him, and just like the little comments he would make. I was also, another red flag is like, even though I was only staying one night, we'd only plan on one night, he didn't plan like a nice dinner.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird. I don't care how fucking
Like
low
if
key
I'm
you are,
flying
like,
in, like pick me up and be like, bring a dress and let's go to dinner. I just feel like if you're trying to court me, like,
you know who did do that though? Sorry. I know, I'm sorry. I'm just such a fan. I'm such a fan of him.
She loves Draft Man stuff.
I love him. I do really love him. No, I'm genuinely like, that's, yeah. But he left the best impression on me.
Also, it's like, I flew in. We're in Bumblefuck Orlando.
No, still, you're taking me to dinner. Like that's.
No,
just,
yeah, he should have still taken me to dinner. He still cooked me a nice dinner, but you should have taken me to dinner.
You should.
Like,
It's a date.
I don't want to like
still.
go to your home and play house the first 5 minutes I meet you. And again, that's what sucks about long distance. I was like, in my head, I was like, how can I realistically like build a real sense of what our relationship would be like doing long distance? Because every time I see you, it's gonna be me coming to your place or you coming to mine. You're staying at my apartment, I'm staying at yours. And that's weird. I don't want to build a relationship like that.
Wait, even
I
before,
wanna
do you
do,
know,
like, the dating
so much is
thing.
hitting me.
What?
Because even when he was in Miami for that quick minute, he was like, should I just stay at yours?
No, I know that was weird. And I
Yeah.
said that to Livy. I was like, I didn't like that.
No, that was also weird. So it just shows that he's very comfortable doing those things. I think that's the biggest thing we're trying to get across. Like if you're that comfortable with me and you don't know me,
Right.
you can do this with anybody.
With anybody. And like, you are. No.
And you're a whore.
Yeah.
And he is.
And he did say one of his red flag, or one of his red flags was trust issues. Like he has trust issues. And I'm like, well, how again are we gonna do long distance with trust issues?
Because that was an issue with Giraffe Man as well.
Yes, Giraffe Man also had trust issues, and I was also worried about that.
All right.
Not because I'm an untrustworthy person, but because
She's
it's
like, I don't want to be fucking
no matter
controlled.
what I do, are you gonna trust me?
It's also hard when like we live our lives so publicly.
Yeah.
You're a bad bitch in Miami.
Yeah, I live in Miami. He lives in Orlando. He's gonna be worried about me going out all the time.
We walk down the street and it's like 17 million men, and I'm like, Nicole's like, oh, how are you? Nicole, who the fuck is that? Nicole, who the fuck is that? It's every 5 seconds. Are you guys going to 11 tonight? What? It's like, what? I'm like, what the fuck, Nicole? So
That being said, I am a trustworthy person, though.
No,
I'm
she's
loyal.
extremely
I'm
trustworthy.
so loyal. But my thing is like,
She's
no
not
matter
even-
how loyal I am, will you still not trust me? Type of thing. But these are all like cart in front of the horse.
Yes, which she
situations,
does get
which
ahead
I
of.
do because it makes me, because if I'm taking someone seriously, I want to make sure that we're being serious and realistic. But okay, so I sleep over, whatever. Oh, my panic attack. Okay, so I woke up in the morning, and not really somebody who has random anxiety anymore. So when I woke up, I had crippling anxiety. The one where like you feel like you can't breathe, you have to focus on your breathing, your heart's like just like racing, you're not hungry, you have butterflies in the stomach. I was like shaking for no reason. And I was just like, I don't know what's making me feel this way, but it doesn't feel good. And I didn't tell him that I felt this way, obviously, so that's even worse because I'm just sitting here like having almost a panic attack in his home, and he's just like, can I make you coffee? And I'm just like, and then I had a coffee, which makes it oh my god, like
that's enough to like,
that was the biggest
I'd jump off a building
I've ever had. Now I'm like shitting my pants.
Yeah. He's like, are you done in there? You're like,
no, I'm like, no, I'm gonna be
you're like shaking too. You're like, it's like,
no, and I did take a shit. And I did. I just didn't feel good. Something wasn't feeling right. And he left that morning. I like stayed like a couple extra minutes, and he called me an Uber because he couldn't drive me to go to the airport. I'm texting Livy this whole time, just being like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm freaking out. I get to the airport. He thinks it's really funny to like, he is like, oh, wouldn't it be so funny if I like put you as deaf? Like, I'm gonna put you as deaf. And I was like, that's not funny. Like, no, like, don't do that.
don't
like,
put me as deaf. I'm sure it was like a quick giggle, and then
no,
it's like,
yeah. And then I was like, but don't actually do it.
Yeah.
I guess he also said, he was like, I thought I unclicked it, whatever. He didn't, because I get to the airport, I can't check in at one of the kiosks. Orlando Airport, I don't know if you've ever been there. Don't ever go there if you haven't been there. Like, steer clear. It is the busiest airport in America. There are so many families.
You have to like take a weird little train.
Yes, you have to take a train. There's families, there's kids screaming, running around. Nobody knows whose kid belongs to who. The line is so long, and I'm not somebody who arrives at the airport super early. Like, I get there with like 50 minutes, you know. I have TSA pre-check.
Flex.
But like, that's why I'm like, feel like, okay, like I can just get through. I get there, the line's so long, the kiosk isn't letting me check in, so I'm like, okay, don't have my boarding pass. And he's like, oh, try the other one, maybe that one's broken, try the other one. Also isn't letting me get my boarding pass. So he's like, okay, you have to wait in this line. And the line's so long, the line's at least a 45-minute line, and everybody has 10 luggages, and I'm like, I don't even have a luggage. I literally just have myself in like my little Bays bag. Shout out Bays.
Yeah.
And
thank you to today's sponsor.
And speaking of so, but then like the preferred line or whatever, the premium line only has a couple people in it. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'm having this panic attack. I'm texting him, and I'm like, hey, can you check me in online and send me my boarding pass? He's like, yeah, sure. It isn't working. So he's like, I'm sorry, it's not working, blah blah blah. And I'm just like so pissed off at this point. So that
on top of anxiety, I think I would have thrown my phone at the wall.
I was prepared to start crying, and I thought I was getting my period. So I was like, I'm going to have a mental breakdown. I'm going to be stuck in the Orlando airport. Like, I truly never thought I was going to get out of there. And I also didn't want to.
I know.
And because I still didn't know how I felt about him because of these things, I was like, I can't stay another day with him. Like, if this all goes to hell, like, I can't stay another day. Like, I need to figure this fucking out. And, like, he's the one who booked the flight and everything. So it's like, I feel like I was so out of control with so many things. Because it's like, do they rebook me on his credit card type of vibe? Like, I was like, I would. Like,
put me in first class.
Yeah, no, and in first class.
And do it right this time.
Like, I was already thinking of all these things. So I go in the preferred line, whatever. I'm like, if they can yell at me, they can yell at me, because I will start crying. And I get to the front, and the guy looks at me, and first of all, he's like, do you have a pet? And I'm like, no, like, I don't have a pet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he probably checked that off because when he flies, maybe he flies with his dog. I don't know. So I was like, maybe that was like an automatic thing. I was like, I don't have a pet. And he's like, are you deaf? And I was like, I looked at him and I go, fuck you. No. And then I didn't want to explain like, oh, like the guy who booked my flight thought it'd be funny to put me in.
The man who flew me out.
No, so I was like, oh my God, that's so weird. How did that happen? Like, that's a mistake. I'm not deaf and I don't have a pet.
He's like asking, like, are you deaf, bitch?
Meanwhile, I have my big Apple headphones on, clearly blasting music.
You're like, what was that? He's like, no, so you are deaf. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not deaf. He goes, okay, that's so weird. Like, let me fix those things for you. And I'm like, yeah. So I text him and I'm like, you put me as deaf, and that is why I can't check in, and I might miss my flight, and I'm so angry right now. And he was like, I'm so sorry, I thought I unclicked it, blah blah blah. I didn't answer him. He was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just so irritated. And he was like, I'm so sorry. He kept apologizing, and I just stopped answering him. Thank God I had TSA pre-check, make it through. Having a full-blown panic attack, make it back to Miami. I start to feel better once I'm like in Miami and in my space. And then I'm like kind of reflecting back on the trip and how I feel. And I was like, these are things that I'm worried about, but I still like, I'm still interested.
I do think it's so important to note, like, it's a big quote where it's like, and it's a thing in general, like your body will reject somebody before you will. So it's like, I've had that experience so many times where I'm like, why am I getting like the worst OCD of my life? And I'm like sitting next to a loser. And it's like, And I'm like, why do I suddenly, like, I'm having a panic, like, I'm not well, like, something just feels so unwell with me. And it's just like, even like, he didn't do anything, but it's just like, you're in that presence in general, like, that was
energy, in his home,
in his energy, like, being in someone's energy, and your body will react way before you will. It's like, even like your skin will break out or some shit like that. For me, it's always anxiety. But
my period didn't come, and it was supposed to come that morning. Little stressed.
I was about to say something really fucked up. I was like, oh, you could let him fuck your period out of you. Right? You know.
No, and thank God, because there were moments where I was like, if he tried to fuck, like, I might be into it. But then I was like, but let me not.
Because we're celibate. Like, I don't think anyone gets that. Like, I am not, sorry, let me just talk about myself. I have not been railed in a positive way in 2 fucking years.
She puts it positive.
In a positive way in 2 years. Because, no, I've been railed.
You've been not railed. You've been soaked.
I've like had the worst sex. It's like I miss my ex-boyfriend.
Me grabbing you, like, are you okay? Like, I'm consoling you. Like, that's
no, I know. And like, I miss my ex.
She hasn't had good sex in 2 years.
Yeah. And we're not the type to sleep with people. Like, we're just not. Like, whatever. It doesn't make us better or worse.
No, it doesn't make us better. It's just a waste of my time at this point. Like, if I don't see it going somewhere with you, well, I'm going to fuck you and never speak to you again. And why did I give you that energy? Why did I let you put that energy in me?
Right.
Like,
why am I getting that? And then it's like, what? So then I can get even more horny? Like, I'm not going to
Or what? So I can get attached to somebody who I don't actually like? Like, I've done that too. It's like, why fuck you and develop fake feelings for you?
Yeah.
Like, and then I'm gonna go home to Miami and like long for you.
Right.
No. Ew. Like, I long for you.
Long. You want me to long?
But you know, if I had hooked up with him, I would have maybe felt a different way. Like, it would have altered. It would have altered my brain chemistry a little bit, and maybe I would have ignored the red flags.
Well, the red flags came swinging.
The red flags came and hit me in the fucking face.
The red flags
like
said,
a bull.
Hey, girly. Yeah.
I was like one of those bulls, like,
yeah,
the hey girly text. Okay, so I get back, and he texts me, and I'm still kind of like letting him know I'm a little bit aggravated with him, but he kind of backs off. Like, we were FaceTiming every single night. There wasn't a day that we went that he didn't at least text me in the morning or FaceTime me. So the next morning after I landed, he didn't FaceTime me, didn't text me, and I'm kind of like, okay, this is getting like, this feels a little bit weird, like love bombing now. It's like, I went there, spent 2 days with you, now we're not even talking.
Now he's like playing the hard game. He's like, let me pull away from her a little.
He did send me like a little text like later that day, and we exchanged a few texts, but again, nothing in comparison to how we had been talking, which then made me feel like I was just kind of like, well, if this is how it's gonna be, it's not gonna be anything.
Like, if you want me to chase you, like,
it's not gonna happen, and this is gonna fade out real fucking quick. Then I am on my way to an event that day, and I open up my requests, and I see a hey girly
on Instagram.
And I'm like, here we fucking go. Like, here we go. And it's, hey girly, I just saw your most recent TikTok. I just would love to clarify a few things. Here's my number. I click her profile. The one mutual we have is this man. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, do I respond? Because this could just be a crazy girl. Like, it could be someone, because he's single. So I'm like, I get it. If
you're like, we're not even shit.
And we're not, like, I've known you for 10 days at this point. Like, I really don't know you. You're on the dating apps. Clearly you've matched with other girls. Like, this TikTok is going to hit a lot of my Florida people. So it's like, if you've talked to another girl, I don't care. I'm talking to another guy. I've talked to other guys before. Like, I don't want my past to haunt me either. I don't want the guy that I've talked to, like, to hit up every single guy that I talk to now.
Right.
You know, this is like not, that's an invasion of privacy.
Right.
And you're allowed to do that. You're single. But Livy was like, no, I want to know the tea. And I was a little bit like,
it is weird because this is also so random. I booked a last minute flight Thursday to come to Miami Friday. So it's like, and then I'm like, no, we're going to call this bitch. I was like, we're going to call her. And Nicole's like, I don't, I'm like, I get that you're not like that, but like, we're calling her. Like, there's just no way.
I acted dumb and I texted her back and I was just like, hey, what is this about?
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know what she said, actually. I think she
called.
Called. I think she said like, it's about blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And she called me off of Instagram. Well, I called her actually off of Instagram audio. And then she called me back. So I was like, if she's a crazy bitch, I don't want her at my number. Like, I don't want her at my number. Like, whatever. If this could be nothing. And I was just like, hey, like, what is the deal? Like, what's going on? And she tells me that she's been talking to him since November. We're in May. We both go, May.
And honestly, like, I feel for this girl so badly. Like, you could tell she was very distraught on the phone. Like, she was very hurt. Yeah. And I do feel for her really badly. But, like, the true colors just came the fuck out.
Yeah, I think. But at the end of the day, it's like, he's on the dating apps, babe. Mm-hmm. Like, she seems like they're pretty serious. I don't know how much should we share. Like, they're pretty serious.
They're dating.
Like, they're dating. Like, she goes to see him often. They have trips planned. They have a shared calendar. That one really got me.
They're together. Like, I'm sorry. If that was me, that's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
That is my boyfriend. I'm sorry.
7 months in talking to somebody consistently.
You're visiting him all the time.
And if he's talking to her the way that he was talking to me, and I've known him for 10 days, 7 months of that.
Oh, fucking forget it.
She's mentally married to the man.
Oh, 1,000%. I'm having your babies tomorrow.
Yeah.
What?
And especially because he, like, seems, I want to settle down. All this stuff. So I'm like, for somebody who was just with me and says that he wants to settle down and have a girlfriend, he's talking to this bitch for 7 months. Sorry, bitch.
We love you.
Bitch. Like,
we love you.
But like, you're talking to her for 7 months and you haven't made her your girlfriend. It's either you're lying.
Yeah.
Or
she's lying.
Or she's just not your type and you're playing her.
Right.
Or she's not your girl and you're playing her type of thing.
Because her and Nicole are very opposite looking.
Very opposite looking. So it's just kind of like, are you lying to me? Or are you lying to her? Or are you lying to yourself?
Are you lying to both of us?
He's definitely lying to himself. Because if he really wanted a girlfriend, he wouldn't be doing this.
No.
He wouldn't be talking to a girl since November, be on the dating apps actively, flying me out to Orlando. That's a big gesture. Like, at least fuck a bitch who lives in Orlando and do it with someone low key.
That is like another thing we were so confused by is like, this man went out. It almost feels like he's just like a stab in the face to her, because it's like, this man went out of his way to find the TikToker to fly out
and didn't care. Like, I told him what I do. He follows me on TikTok. He saw me rip apart Giraffe Man 2 days prior.
He literally made a joke about it. Like you know what you're getting into when you're with the TikToker who makes story times. I'm sorry. Are you fucking... You vlogged. Like, he saw it. He saw it. Like, if you don't want your spot blown up, don't date a TikToker. That's number one. Don't fly out a fucking TikToker.
Like, at least be smart about it.
Right.
I like, if you're gonna be single, date girls. Just leave me out of it.
Right. It was... To me, it's weird. It's like, okay, did you want the clout? Because, like, number one, Nicole is... what it looks like, not his type, normal type, whatever. Like, she's gorgeous, stunning, whatever. But what
everybody's type.
All the women that have reached out, she don't look like them. She don't look like them. That's about that. And for that being said, it's just like, what was your motive? Also, your girls, and I say girls because there's more than one. Are going to see these TikToks. Right. So what the absolute fuck is wrong with you? Yes.
And they did.
But so this girl's basically dating the guy, and I know where she's at mentally, where she's like, well, he's technically single. No, go fuck yourself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she kept saying that, and I'm like, that's him talking. That's him.
That's him. That's his manipulation. Because at the end of the day, I'm sorry, if that was me, the man that I've been seeing for 7 months, who is my boyfriend,
should not be actively on the apps.
Flew a bitch out. I would chop his dick out.
No, yeah.
Though. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, there is no bigger sign of disrespect. Fly out a girl. Y'all could have fucked. Y'all could have done whatever. Yeah. Still, that's even more intimate. He flew out a girl to play house with him for 2 days.
Exactly.
Go fuck yourself.
Like,
you're an asshole.
He spooned me. We cuddled. Like, he's calling me baby.
You're the stepmom to the dog.
No, yeah. That, like...
That at that point is like...
Invites me on a trip just days from when I saw him too. Like, a big trip, too.
A big trip. Across the world. And guess what? He also invited her on the same fucking trip.
Which is crazy. Like, of course, I said no because I just met you. But then he was like, oh, but how about this one? And I'm just like, that's a month from now. If you are and in my head, I'm like, you're traveling for basically a month. I'm not going to see you. This isn't going anywhere. But he's like inviting me to go on this trip. He's inviting her to go on this trip. What is the plan?
And the thing is, though, it's just like, that is the, I don't care if you're single. Like, we're still single because we're technically not boyfriend and girlfriend yet. I would never in my life start a relationship with somebody who flew a bitch out. Like, to me, you look desperate. To me, you look desperate.
Flying somebody out feels like desperate.
Yeah,
like,
I know we did say bad bitches get flown out, but like,
no, but like, he could find somebody more in his area. Like, yeah, like it just made it seem like he was talking to nobody. Like, that's nobody.
What he made it sound like.
That's what it seemed like. Just because to fly me from Miami, it was just kind of like, you must not have, anybody going on or things going on, especially because you're allowing me to film it.
So to him to basically have a girlfriend, fly you out, let you film the entire experience. Like, no offense, he doesn't give a fuck about you because. Yeah. that would hurt anybody.
Yeah.
That would hurt literally anybody. So him allowing you to do those, and him even doing those things, like, that is hurtful.
No, because I'm trying to like figure out what his MO was, like why like say these things to me and like, oh, I want a girlfriend, I'm ready to settle down. Even has TikTok saying that. And then have this girl that you is interested in you, and a sweet girl, seems like a good girl.
She seems like a really great girl.
And you've shared experiences together, and you travel together. Why are you not making her your girlfriend?
The day Nicole left, he booked them a vacation.
What is going on? Like,
and why am I involved?
Why am I involved? Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Like, why am I here?
Why am I here? If like,
it was very confusing. Like, it took me a while to like wrap my head around it all, and I've never been more thankful in my life that I didn't sleep with him.
Yeah.
Because it would have felt a lot worse, and it would have been a lot messier. Like, I have no stake in it. I have no emotions tied to it. I really had no outcomes like in my head tied to it.
It's just a shitty fucking thing to do to both people, because you're just a selfish asshole at the end of the day.
And I really felt bad for her because I've been in her situation.
That's another thing that I think is important, is that like I've also been in her situation, and I do feel for her, and it's just like I hope she knows she doesn't have to stay.
Yeah.
If I was her, I'd get the fuck out immediately, because if you're willing to do this,
she's on the phone with the girl that he just flew out, like having a conversation. I'm sorry,
asking if you fucked.
Yeah, asking. That was the first question. Did you fuck? I'm like,
like, come on, stand up. But at the same time, I get it. When you're down bad, you're down bad. But I think that's the importance of this all, is like, we cannot be letting these men like get to us in that sense. Like, men they're immature. They're low-key shitty as fuck. First of all, I don't know how he has the time. Like, that's my biggest concern.
How do you have the time?
I feel like I have time, and I actively seek not to speak to anybody. Like, oh my God, I could be out here getting trains ran on me. With the things that to fly someone out, and I think it's so disrespectful on so many ends to every single person involved in this.
Yeah.
I think it's so disrespectful to you to waste your time, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, his girlfriend, basically. We could see why that's disrespectful. There is no narrative in my head that makes sense about this besides the fact that you're selfish. You're an asshole. You don't give a fuck about other people's feelings and emotions, and you only care about yourself.
Yes.
You saw a pretty girl. I don't know. This is another thing. If you're going to be a whore, admit to being a whore.
That.
So, like,
if you are going to be a player, a whore, whatever you want to call it, if you're gonna fly out girls
and do that,
commit to that.
Don't
say that you want to date them.
And I want a girlfriend. Like, this is why you need a girlfriend.
Don't make it sound like you have no contenders, like nothing going on. This girl would have dated you, wants to date you.
This girl clearly still wants to date you.
And you pretend like you want to date her.
Can we talk about Pineapple Man?
Yeah.
You can bleep that. But like, he was always very open and honest with you. And he was like, I don't want a relationship. I don't want any of that. I like you. I like that we're doing this thing. But like, I'm not going to date you.
Yes.
That I respect. But
did he always act like that? Let's just say no. I will say, like, he knows that, and I called him out. I said, sometimes your actions don't line up with your words. And when I said that, he did stop hitting me up to do more like wholesome girlfriend boyfriend things, and more so like, okay, if we're hooking up, that's what it is. We are strictly hooking up.
Right.
And I was so attached to him at that time and like emotionally involved with him that I let him get away with it, because I was desperate to like have that connection with him. But he never once was like, I'm interested in dating, or like he wasn't also dating other girls. It's not like he was telling me he didn't want to date but was like taking out other girls on dates or flying girls out. It's like he wasn't doing that with anybody. Well, that was later. That was later, I will say. And like, even that, there's no romantic dates that I see there either.
He's not actively like, then we could argue that like, what's his name? Orlando Man. I was like about to say like 4 different names for him.
Oh, because he didn't take me on a date?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're flying somebody
No.
out,
And also,
and you're talking about wanting to settle down.
You want a girlfriend, you want all these things.
And like,
Pineapple Man was like, I don't want a single girlfriend.
He's still not even sure if he wants to ever be monogamous with anybody.
Yeah, he doesn't even know.
So it's like, that's just, he stands by that, and that's okay. And like, that's why I respect him a little bit more, and why we've been able to maintain some sort of relationship and friendship and respect each other. And he knows where I stand now, and we have clear communication, and I know where he stands.
It's because it wasn't malicious.
No,
and
it
wasn't manipulative.
It was just like, I'm selfish and I know that, and I don't want to worry about somebody else's feelings, because I know I can't handle that right now. And he outright said that, and I respect that.
And no, this man went out of his fucking way to fly you out while having another girl, and just like play the love bomb card on the both of you.
Yeah.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't like
that.
No,
men like that.
And when you pretend to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
don't fucking pretend to be the nice guy. You're not nice.
Because if he was real with it, he could have just been like, honestly, he really should have just stepped the fuck back. Like, that's just about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes me think that you don't have any self-respect for yourself either. If you're willing to I'm sorry, I have a lot of fucking self-respect for myself. Never in my entire life would I just be playing two men at once without them actually, like, knowing. Like, yeah, I don't like men, but, like, I won't play two men at once without them knowing. I'm very clear. Yeah, no, I'm just fucking you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is what it is.
Because I respect myself, so I'm going to also have respect for you. Even if I don't like you, I'll still have fucking respect for you. You must feel so horrible about yourself to do these things to women.
It makes me sick to, like, lead somebody on. You have to feel so horrible about yourself and just need the validation. And that's why I'm so confused. I'm like, you're this guy who, like, you have a good reputation. You have things going for you. Like, you're pretty busy guy. Like, you're successful.
But goddamn, you must hate yourself if you do these kinds of things.
Yeah. I'm like, I could never make somebody feel that way.
I would never go out of my way to do. And the thing is, there were so many ways that he knew he could get caught from every single person involved.
Right.
With the TikTok being posted, let's talk about the other girl that came forward.
Yeah. So then another girl DMs me and she's just like, hey, I've known him for this amount of time. I can tell you everything if you want to give me a call. Gives me her number. And I'm like, I said to Livia, I was like, I don't know, because it's like, if he dated this girl, I don't care. I have exes too. Like, that's not my business. I'm not trying to dig up everything about this person, about things when I didn't even know him. You know, like, I don't care about people change. I don't care about what he did 3 years ago, really. And he did tell me that he had a fuckboy phase. He has opened up about, like, some of these things that he's not proud of and, like, girls that he's dated that he's not really proud of. But so I was like, I don't really need to know everything. But when she said that she had been in his place in December was when I was like, let me just reach out, because this girl's been talking to him since November. So he's clearly
this is a thing,
not just, you know, me or her, like this girl too, you know? So I call her and I'm like, okay, I just want to, like, understand if this is, like, the pattern. And
it's the pattern.
It's the pattern.
No, it's the pattern.
It's the pattern. And she's been talking to him for a couple years, and same thing. They used to, like, FaceTime every night. Like, they got to a point where she was also kind of dating him.
I felt really bad for her.
I felt really bad for her because she was like,
you could just tell it hurt her. And he was such a fucking dick to her.
She's definitely down bad for him.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they both are.
But I think that she is more down bad because she's known him for so long and she doesn't seem to be so emotional about it anymore, which makes me feel like she's gotten to the point that she's
just used to
been
it.
So disappointed and used to it. And still hasn't been enough to push to make her not want to talk to him anymore. Because even when I said, oh, he offered, did he like say like, oh, I'll take you on this trip? And she was like, no, he hasn't offered to take me on a trip. Like, I'm jealous. And I'm like, don't be jealous of that. Like, rejection is protection. Like, the fact that he hasn't been being this great person to you, he's not gonna change and he's not gonna want to date you.
She doesn't realize it now, but she will in a couple of years, that she dodged like the biggest bullet.
Yes.
And if there's like one person I want to protect, it is her, because I
know,
feel for her.
I like felt for her so deeply. The other girl I know wants to continue to talk to him, so it's just kind of like, I
don't know, me personally, I just like, if that's how we're starting things, like
it's not gonna work out. Like, we can't start
and
things
it's just
like
that.
It
It is a big fuck you to him at the same time, because it's like, my biggest issue with all of this, love you, but like the way that he's playing these other girls, that's what fucks me up inside, where I'm just like, it's unnecessary. It's really a shitty fucking thing to do. You have to be a shitty fucking person to do this to women.
Yeah.
Like, that is my biggest thing.
And like, sleep at night.
Yeah.
Like, sleep next to me at night.
Yeah. I don't know.
That this other girl, you've been texting her while I'm there.
Right. And there's another one that she'll just come in and you'll text her, come on over, go fuck yourself. And then you're pathetic. You're a pathetic excuse of a man.
And then when I think about it, he was telling me about this girl that when he moved to Orlando, he went on a couple dates with too. So it's like, he has been dating girls while also making this other girl seem like he wants to be in a relationship.
And then another girl, like, yeah, I just
who knows how many girls there are.
No, genuinely.
And I'm so happy that I made the TikTok, because I was almost like, oh, maybe I'm going to keep this more private this time because I see it going. Well, the TikTok saved my ass.
It did.
I could have seen myself like maybe, you know, starting to like him and saying yes to one of the trips and like kind of something like that. But now that I know this, it's like, I could never do anything with you.
No, yeah,
like,
you could go fuck all the way off.
If you're gonna sit here and tell me that you want to date and you want something serious, but you're doing this on the side, this like literally the truth found me, I'd be dumb as fuck to sit and think, oh, he'll be different. He's gonna change. Oh,
I'd punch Nicole straight in the head.
Or to believe anything that he said.
No, there's not one thing I would believe him moving forward. Absolutely not.
No, not at all. So
I also think like the best thing you can do for yourself, and I mean, I hope the girls will do this too, is walk away.
Yeah.
Because that man will never change. And the thing is, it's like, because when you're just that mentally fucked up and you're just that horrible of a person, truly, things like that, you don't change. And it's not who it is, it's who it's next. Because it's not going to change. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not as keen on like people change and things like that. I wish that, I hope that. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's not going to be a change that happens within a year. No, that's a lifetime worth of change. And it just is like, if you're seeing the signs now, get the fuck out. Because you deserve so much more than that. And it's like, you should love yourself enough to be able to walk away from somebody like that. Because when I had to do that with my ex, it was fucking horrible. It was heartbreaking. I didn't want to leave. You don't want to leave that person, but you have to. You have to be like, you know what? I love myself more. I have to walk away because like the things that he did, the lies that he's told, and it's all those things, like, you'll continue to make excuses for him. And there will be a million excuses you can make for him. But at the end of the day, he's still a shitty fucking person. The things he did, we all know are shitty.
Yeah.
I just hope for them both to walk.
I know. I feel like so much hurt for them. Like I genuinely feel really sad because I've been in their situation.
Same.
And it's like with Pineapple, it's like, I wish I had someone to protect me back then. And like girls come forward and be like, oh, like, I'm talking to him too. Like, it wasn't until so much later that like so many things came to the forefront and I started to really see how serious he was about not wanting to be serious. But I was too in deep at that point, and I was making so many excuses for him and myself and rationalizing everything, and I had become so used to the treatment that I thought it was normal. And I didn't have the power to walk away. And because these girls, like, and I loved that they were like such girls, and they're like, let's protect each other type of thing. And because of them, I'm able to like totally just walk away and be like, I'm so happy I trusted my intuition, and like pat on my back to me that I can be like, I can trust myself again, because I was really starting to doubt myself for a really long time. You were. And I think this is a great like test where it's like, this is somebody who I could ignore all these girls if I was really stupid.
No, if you were dumb, you could be like, oh, like, they're just in his past.
Yeah, and be like, oh, he'll be different with me. Things will be different with me, and continue to talk to him. Or I could be like, no, this is who he is, and I can walk away now and feel good and walk away with like my head held high and be like, okay, I learned my lessons. I'm not making my same mistakes that I've made in the past before, and I'm protecting myself, and I'm sparing myself, I'm sure, many months of tears or whatever would have come with this.
It would have been a lot. And
it's like, and it's a test, and it's like, okay,
it is.
I have done the healing, I've done the work, and this isn't a reflection of me at all. Like,
this is all him.
He's
the piece of shit. You did nothing.
Missing out,
and you'll probably never hear from me again. Besides on this podcast, bitch. I will say, Nicole was like hesitant. She was like, I don't know if I want to make this podcast. I don't know if I want to do that. Like, this is just a lot for me. And I'm like, yeah. And the reason I feel like I pushed her to do it is because this story is not only going to help the girls that are in it, number one, but number two, you guys who are in something similar too. Like, this is just a thing. Like, unfortunately, this is modern dating these days. It's not going to change unless you get up and walk away.
Change.
Yeah. And you have to get the fuck up and walk away from these whack ass men. Stop making excuses for them. Stop being like, oh, he did it because of this. Oh, we're not even really dating. Like, we're not. First of all, 7 months and you're not dating. Run to the hills. I'm sorry. Run to the fucking hills. I just think our self-respect has to be higher than ever now these days. I think that's like the most important thing.
We have so many tools now where it's like, in the past, if someone's cheating on you, they could totally get away with it.
Oh yeah.
All these things. It's like, there's so much that we can use to our advantage that we choose to ignore. We have like we are able to be connected with so many girls we were never able to be connected with.
Right.
I would never have known this bitch in Tampa. So I keep calling her bitch. Whatever.
No, but we didn't mean it endearing.
I would never have known that she was seeing him in Tampa without TikTok, without social media. They could get away with things. But it's like, if the information is finding you and the facts are in your face, don't ignore them.
And make a podcast
make
about
it.
Make
a podcast about it. Make a TikTok about it. Next time you go into a man's house, film there. Anybody recognize this room? Somebody probably will.
Yeah.
they were just there last week.
Yeah. No, she was literally there last week.
Last week, which is the crazy. I'm like, did you clean your sheets? I hope.
Yeah.
My God.
No, oh my God.
Oh, my hair is all over that apartment. You know I shed
like
a bitch. He was like, oh yeah, I've seen your hair everywhere. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I would.
And I'm brunette.
Yeah.
No, a bitch isn't a no.
Oh, a bitch is gonna know.
That's why you should, if you're gonna cheat, like, at least stick to your type. Because You can't be like, oh, that's your hair. No, it's not.
He wanted a Miami mommy. No, but like, yeah, the whole thing in general, I just think it's so important to, when you see these signs and when these things happen to you, to get the fuck up and walk away. Because as much as like I don't like men, and as much as I'm like they're all losers and pieces of shits and we can all do so much better, like I do believe there are good guys out there. I do believe we're all gonna meet our person. I do believe that. But to meet our person, we have to get rid of the people who do not serve us. And like, this man really doesn't deserve to ever even like fall in love.
And you have to pick yourself and choose yourself to find the right person.
And it's not easy. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, it's gonna hurt like a bitch.
Like, part of me is like a little bit sad.
I think you should be.
Like, I'm not really hurt because I didn't know him well enough to be hurt. But I'm a little bit sad because it's like, this is somebody who I could have liked.
You said something to me and it hit so hard because I was like, that's how I felt about that weird fuck I just talked to. But you were like, so I just stopped texting him. Like, I'm not gonna, like, we just don't
talk
speak anymore.
Yeah.
She was like, I was watching a show with him.
Yeah,
like,
we were watching a show together. Damn it.
And it is sad. It is really sad because, like, and that's hurtful too. Even if it's like you weren't even that invested, those little things too. Also, I think it's just the hope of it all. Where
that's why
like,
love bombing works.
Yeah.
Because like he could be like, oh, we do this and this and this together. So you're in your head, you're already like picturing all these things that you could do together. And then when that hope gets vanished and it's like, oh, so we're not going to do that together. It's kind of like, well, that's sad because I thought maybe we would. And it'll be sad, but you know what? Next week, I probably will forget his name. Yeah. That's the best part of it all.
And you have the decency for that. Like, you have the better end of the stick where like these girls that I genuinely feel bad for are the ones that I'm like.
But I've gotten shitty ends of the stick.
Yeah, no, you have. I told her, I was like, this is like kind of your redemption story. It's like you've been on the other side of things. Now you got to be the one to have the voice and fucking say something. Because there have been countless times that I would have loved a Pineapple Podcast episode. Wouldn't we all?
But I'm happy I handled that situation how I did.
No, me too, because we're still friends. Like,
and I think if I didn't, I think I handled that situation how I genuinely, like, authentic to myself and how I wanted to handle that situation. I handled it, and I'm really happy with how I did. And with this situation, I think if I didn't talk about it, I would have been upset down the road. And I would have been like, I could have saved somebody, not even just those two girls, but the hundreds of thousands of girls who listen to this podcast as well and maybe can relate or are going through something similar, because I know that this is happening to somebody else right now, the same exact thing.
And these men, I think the biggest thing is like they think they can get away with it. So it's as soon as you can put your foot down and you're like, you're not going to get away with this anymore, you little bitch.
And I'm like, he has gotten away with it, and he would get away with it. If I didn't say anything, he would get away with it,
and he might still continue to get away with it.
But that's their decision.
That's their decision. You know? Also, it's just like everyone knows who we're talking about, so like just don't date him. You bitches, you know who it is. Like, just don't date him. I think,
I don't, and that's why I also was kind of like, I don't know if I want to talk about it, because I would hate for somebody to blast my shit on the internet of things that I did 2-3 years ago. I'm not going to judge him based on that. But
this
like,
is
happening
current
right now.
You're doing this to bitches right now, and bitches sincerely, but like you're doing that to them right now.
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of saying,
you have girls that like genuinely have love and care for you. Like, both of these girls, like genuinely had so much love for him, and like even though he was doing shitty things, they still were saying really positive things about him. I would have been like, I'm going to actually like chop his balls off. That these girls were still had that like so much respect and love for him, and that's what fucks me up. It's like, you're doing it to good girls. Like,
that's what I hate. It's like, at least if you're gonna be like, hook up with somebody who is on the same page as you and doesn't want a relationship, and that is hard to find in girls, but it does, like,
it's possible. It's just like what satisfaction do you get from hurting people? Like, what went so wrong in your life that you feel the need to bring others down with you?
And what's also so weird is like I've had a few people who know who he is who've worked with him, and they all spoke so highly of him, which is why I was also like excited about him too, because I'm like, these people, you know, say that you're this great guy and like all these things, so you must be this guy. But he might just be a good guy. He could be a good guy, like, to his friends, but you could, you know.
No, well, if you were out here fucking and sucking, I mean, I would still support you.
He could be a good guy on that level, to his coworkers, to his friends, to people that he mingles with day to day. Romantically,
you're a piece of
totally
shit.
Fucked.
You're literally disgusting. Like, you should be
totally
embarrassed
fucked.
to be yourself. I would be embarrassed if I was you. I'd be like, I'm sorry, your achievements in your career and everything like that are quite literally nothing and will mean nothing, because guess what? It's all going to end one day. And like the person that you are and the like connection that you've made, and like he wants to have a family and do all these things. Good fucking luck.
The karma's not going
The karma is not going to be good. And also it's just like, yeah, no, you're not a good person. You're just not a good fucking person. In my eyes, you're really not. If you can hurt people like that, like I feel for these girls because they genuinely had so much love for them. If you can go out of your way and hurt these two girls who did absolutely nothing to you but love you and care for you, you're a shitty fucking person.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're great at a fucking photo shoot. I'm glad you're great to your friends. But if I saw you acting like that towards men, I would be like, you need to get your life together. I don't know what insecurities you're projecting onto these men, but you should figure it the fuck out. And I really suggest he goes to therapy and like gets his life together.
That's crazy because he is in therapy.
Then he's lying to his therapist.
He's a new therapist.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something.
I have a lot of people that I can name right now that need a new therapist. Anyway. I just think like at the end of the day, it's just, I'm sick and tired of seeing men like this get away with it. If it was me, I would tag him.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I would.
Be so
no,
real.
I would say, oh no, we're starting this. Oh yeah, no, we're gonna go. I'm over it, Nicole. I have no patience for this shit anymore. If he had done this to me, oh, he would have fucked. Well, I think he would know not to do this to me.
What are you saying?
Like, don't fly me out. Like, I'm fucking crazy. Like, I'm batshit. That's the difference. It's like you're crazy. Like, no, I'm batshit. I'll drag your ass. Like, are you kidding me?
I mean,
tagging everything. I'm gonna tag your bitch ass, and I'm gonna tag the girls. They're like, please keep me private.
No, they want to be kept private, which is also why.
And I'm just like, I'm not gonna let that narrative live of you. Like, you're not gonna do. If you're gonna fuck me over so deeply,
I'm on the same page with you on this one. I think I didn't want to let him like really get away with it.
I am more passionate about than her, and I think it might have to do with like maturity, but also not even maturity. I just think like, I don't know. I've been burned so many times. I could have seen how bad this would have. And also, I honestly think if I was in her position and all these things happened to me, like, I fall for the love bombing a little bit easier.
I know that's what the thing is. I think maybe it would have fell for the love bomb a little bit, and then it would have been a lot more impact when you found out.
My fucking stomach.
And for me, I was kind of like already
even when I was
not buying it.
Even when we were with Pineapple and we were pretending it was me that would have happened to, it was like hurting my feelings.
You were like getting upset.
No, and I was like, what?
Yeah, because we asked a guy's perspective on this, and he was like, I wouldn't do that. And he's someone who like you think would do that.
He's
so
like,
it's kind of alarming. I was kind of like, ooh.
He was like, Livy, he just like doesn't like you. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like not even me, bitch. Like, goddamn.
He doesn't like you or he doesn't like the other bitch. He's just trying to fuck. I was like, if you're just trying to fuck, why are you flying me out? If you're just trying to fuck, why are you flying me out?
Also, if you just want to fuck, just say that. I'll tell you no.
Just say that.
There are millions of bitches that just want to fuck. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah. It's like
at this moment. Should we get Wingstop tonight and do a mukbang?
Maybe.
Okay.
My stomach hurts.
I know. I'm not feeling great.
But anyways, I just trust your intuition. Trust your gut.
That is,
your
I think,
body
the biggest
fucking
message.
knows. And there are so many times where I've been so anxious around guys and I didn't know why. No, it's because there's something going on with them. It's their energy. It's not sitting right with you. And you should absolutely trust that. And you are never wrong. And the more you keep trusting that and going with that, the more you're going to like trust yourself more and lean into that more. And I just think it's just will save you so much.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest message of all of this is like
trust
yourself. And like we all have that little voice inside our head that's like, I probably shouldn't be doing this.
When you know it's not right. It's not right. And that was the voice in my head where I was like, I shouldn't sleep with him. I shouldn't do this. Mm-hmm. And I followed it. And
she's not a bop. TikTok. She's not a
bop.
She ain't fuck. And I know you all wanted to know
I might get flown out, whatever. But I'm not a bop.
But what did I say? Bad bitches.
No, it's actually embarrassing. Now that I think about it, it's actually embarrassing that this man flew me out and I cuddled him. And we cuddled? That's embarrassing.
I told you to get dick down. I did.
That's embarrassing. Fuck.
Take one for the team. Let me live vicariously through you. To get dick down. Get dick down. You did. You flew all the way to Orlando
for him to make me coffee and cuddle with me. What the fuck? No, at least I didn't build Lego.
No. We kept joking with each other. It was like God said, like, you really thought you were about to get a boyfriend.
You were really about to get a boyfriend. But I think actually, maybe this means I'm getting closer.
No, I'm gonna tell you no because when I said my soulmate's around the corner, you told me no.
You no. Because I still feel like you haven't dated enough good guys.
Yeah, I think because I'm just gonna have one good one.
That's really after this. That's really rich.
No, I'm gonna just have one, and I'm gonna latch on to him, and he's gonna be my little bitch.
And then you're gonna find out he has 10 bitches.
Oh no, I put there's one
No,
thing
actually,
I
no.
do.
I hope that for you. I hope you find the good one.
Oh, I thought you said I hope you have 10 bitches. I was like, I'll kill you.
No.
My therapist has like made me. She's like, no, we got to do background checks because like that's where it's become to for me.
Yeah, and I've done a background check, and you know what? Nothing good was found.
They never put
Nothing
cheating on a
good-
background. They never talk about the bitches you're fucking. I'm just gonna start being absolutely batshit and be like, show me your Instagram. I want to go through your text messages.
I'm gonna go
and
through your
DMs.
entire following. How do you know her? How do you know her? How do you know
I'm just
her?
gonna go through your phone on our first
Why'd
meeting.
you like her picture?
Yeah, who is this? You think I'm crazy? I'll show you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I will say, even after this experience, I'm not closed off. I'm not like, fuck men. I'm not want to date anymore. I'm staying open. I know that there's good guys out there. And the truth will always, what did it prevail?
I was gonna
truth
say
will
prevail.
always prevail. It will always find you.
I will say I'm proud of you because I think the Nicole I met a year ago would have been a little bit down bad for this man.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
Saloon.
yeah.
Nicole would have been like, no, like, don't even care. It's fine. No, but I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of how you handled the situation. I'm even more proud of you for using your voice. I know it's hard for you.
Thank you.
And it is like, you were like, I'm nervous. And I was like, get up, let's go. But I am just proud of you. I think you're making such a good impact. I think the message you're spreading is very important. And I think just the way you've handled this entire situation, like you could have called him a whack ass motherfucker and been like, your dick wasn't even big. And like, I didn't even see it, but like you could have went out there and flown out there again to Orlando and like chopped his dick off. But I like that you're handling this with grace in the best way. We just destroyed him for an hour, but like I am proud of you and I am happy for you.
So much more horrible things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is just one of those situations where you are like, what the
No, it genuinely was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And why'd you waste my time? You're just hitting yourself.
Stab
That's
yourself.
actually what makes me more mad too now. Is like, why waste my time?
But now I think it's just better where we have to be a little bit more closed off to these men if they really want our time and everything. It's like, then you got to put the work
Closed but open. Open heart,
but
but a little bit harder access.
way harder access.
Yeah. It's going to take like a fingerprint, ID, everything.
Yeah,
to,
it's going to be like, you're going to have to talk to Nicole for an hour. Like, where's the tea? How many bitches have you fucked in the past year?
Yeah. And then we're going to scan the entire room.
And I might not even like you, but like, yeah.
Yeah. It's like before the first date.
Yeah, just honestly, guys, send us people who've never dated in their lives.
Yeah. No, that's what I want. I want a man who's never even seen a woman.
Yeah,
Doesn't even
where
know
are
what
the
they
men
look-
that don't even look at women? They're like, babe, they're gay. Those are the ones that are gay.
Oh my God. I will say though, when he said that girl, he was telling me he was talking to this other girl who got like his name tattooed on her like third date in. My first thought was, damn, how good is the dick? Like that's when I was like, maybe I will sleep with him.
Nicole comes back with his name tatted. Like, gets his name
on my
tatted.
forehead. I'm like, didn't get dick down. Not a bop. Wish I was.
All right, recap.
Not a bop. He's a bop.
He's a
If there's
bop.
anybody that's a bop, I'm mad now. People calling me a bop. He's a bop.
He's a bop.
He's a bop.
And I will gladly any day of the week destroy a motherfucker, and I any day will
So
gladly
glad you were
destroy
here
this
for it,
man.
because
Yes.
this episode was way more fun having you to unpack it with me and kind of just. It's just nice to have your girlfriends there and have my back, and like when girls just have each other's backs. I think it's just a beautiful thing. We could all save each other a lot of time and heartbreak.
Be a
and
girl's
just-
girl because these
Yeah,
men
and
aren't
like,
worth it.
no, they're not, and we have each other's backs. The guys don't have our backs. The guys don't care about us.
They don't until you find the one that's meant
Until
for
you find the one that's right for you. Like they don't care.
They
They're
don't give a
selfish.
fuck.
And yeah, we just gotta like lean on each other and be there for
Stick
each other.
together.
Get through it. But I think that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for coming, Livy. I love having you here, and I know the girls are happy to hear you in their ears.
Hi, girls.
But yeah, come back next week. Who knows what the fuck we'll be where we'll
Nicole
be
gets
at
flown
next-
out again.
Yeah, no.
She's in Germany. We're like, she's like live from Germany. I met
knows?
a man.
I could be married next week or divorced
No,
divorced. Who knows?
genuinely, I could be like fucking. Do you think I could be fucking?
I
No.
hope so.
That's Susan. I just said it was hard access, and I'm like
Hard
busting my
access.
legs open.
Well, that's-
I'm low key entering that era. Like, do I just want to fuck?
No.
I like followed that. I'm like, what is this? No, because remember Sweet Green, I was like, I just want to fuck, and I was like, it's not good enough.
Yeah. You were buying his sweet green. Yeah. They know that, right?
I didn't buy his Sweet Green.
Yes, you did.
No, I
You
did.
just bought your
Oh
own.
my God, don't
Sorry,
even you anymore.
sorry. You just bought your own. which is crazy too.
It was a weird just everyone fuck all the way off.
If I keep this mic on too long, we'll just start spilling everything.
I'm like, wait, let me tell you about green flag. I keep thinking about it at night.
You gotta stop doing that.
No, I know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Love you.
Love you guys so much. Chat next week.
Bye.